My name is Asia, and I work in Roseburg Library's Children's Department. And today we're going to be learning how to draw this little sailor character I made up. So, unfortunately, I don't have the live recording of me drawing this character, but that's okay, because I have a low transparency version of the sailor, and we're going to be breaking it down exactly how I drew it. So, whenever you're first drawing, it's most important to remember that most stuff you're going to start with is going to start in shapes. So, with this little character right here that I drew, I started off with just a simple circle. And then we make little guidelines. So, where those little eyes are, we're going to draw a little horizontal line across. And we're also going to make a slightly curved vertical line. Why are we making these lines? Well, they are called guidelines and they help place features of the face. So, like where I'm going to place this little nose right here that I've drawn, and where we're going to place this little mouth. And then the eyes are really simple. So they're like little hills. So if you wanted to just draw from this line right here that we made, we can definitely do that and just make a half circle from this line. How I personally go about drawing eyes is something like this. I start with the top of the eye, and for an expressive character, I do this half curve that's kind of seen in Don Bluth movies, so like Secret of Nim and other things like that. Whenever I decide where a character is looking, I go ahead and place the eye there, which in this instance I'm going to be doing down. Draw the eye down to that eye, and then I go ahead and close it. But there's no right or wrong way about going about how to draw. Most important thing to learn when you're trying to learn how to draw is to not beat yourself up. Everybody draws different ways. There's no right or wrong answer. So let's go ahead and fill in where those eyes are supposed to be. And now you're probably wondering, this doesn't really look like the shape of the face. So we're going to bring out a little cheek from that little line right here. So let's go ahead and draw that little line. And we could go ahead and draw a line going across like this for the sailor hat. And once you've done that, we could go ahead and erase these lines, which I'm going to change the point size of my eraser so this goes a little bit faster. Okay, switching back over to my pen. Okay, so we got the face kind of going on. We could also, I probably shouldn't have erased these lines, but remember where those lines were? You could also use that as a guide for the ears. So usually if a person's looking down, the ears have this illusion of being higher than the eyes. And if you're looking up, the ears look like they are lower than the eyes, but usually the ears line up with the eyes and the mouth. So if the eyes were like this, eyes and mouth, then the ear would probably be like this. But this character's looking slightly up. Let me just go ahead and get these out of the way. Don't want to distract you too much. So these ears are slightly down below the eye line. Now we're going to draw these little hair pieces. You could draw these however you want. They're mostly just curves. And we're just drawing it down from the little line that we made for the hat. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to leave that hair right there in the back because it's in the background, so we don't want to have to erase that. We don't like erasing as like crazy people. If we don't have to erase, then let's not do it. It's important to learn when you're sketching that to sketch very lightly. What does that mean? Well, it means that you shouldn't press too hard on the paper, or at least try not to. It takes a while, and I definitely pressed way too hard as a child, so every time I would erase, it would be like it's still there even though I erased it. It's a little frustrating, but when you practice, you'll get better at self-control. Now that we've already used the head, and we're not going to see that underneath that hat, we're going to go ahead and erase that. Draw these little lines up, and then we're going to draw a little curve to connect them. And then do a little hill, another smaller curve above that curve, and then a really, really tiny hill at the top. That's where the little dangly thing for the sailor hat pops up. Here we go. We could also add our eyebrows. I didn't do the eyebrows right away because I had it in the original drawing tucked underneath the hair because you can't see your eyebrows through hair, but a lot of cartoonists let you see the eyebrows through the hair. Why would they do that? Well, it's because when you're animating, one of the most important things is to capture the expression of the character. So you want to know what they're feeling, but I think it's okay. This one, we could get away with hiding those eyebrows and being a little bit more realistic because we got a big smiley face right here. We know that this person's feeling happy. So now I drew that little neck down, just some pair of lines, and now we could go ahead and draw from the little head, like I would describe these as little hills, so as long as you know how to do zigzags, you're good. So 3 little zigzags right there. Bring down like a little curvy line, like a wave. Bring that down, and then 1 little curve down. Stop right there, and then we'll do a little rectangle, because that's where the fabric meets. It becomes that little bow thing. And then we're doing the same thing, drawing that little thing, 3 little humps, little curve. And then there's a little shirt right there, so we're going to do that little shirt. If you want to, you could draw little lines right here that just shows some like folds in the fabric. You definitely don't have to, but that's something I like to do. A little extra flavor, I guess. Now we could go ahead and make those hair pieces right here. And again, these are just little curves, not anything super special. See, I'm not really even following what I originally did. I'm just kind of doing what I want, what I feel like. And that's how it should be for you. Now we're going to go back down, draw a little curve, a lot of curves in this one. Very rarely will you use like a straight line unless you're doing like something like the arm or something. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that from where we drew that little collar. I'm not sure what you call it. We'll call it a collar for now. So we're gonna draw down that little line, and whenever you feel like it, you can make a little bump right there. And then we're gonna close that off. Whoops, it's a little off. It's okay to make mistakes. You have an eraser, and if you're drawing lightly, like I mentioned before, then it is very easy to erase those mistakes. And then we have that little shape right there. Again, We're drawing a little hump for the hand, not super detailed, but just in the shape of a hand. At least you could tell what it is. As long as you could tell what it is, that's all that really matters. And then we're going to bring that line up and curve it like I just did. Where this line is right here that my little cursor is gesturing to, we're going to see this imaginary line right there. We're not going to draw anything here because we don't have to erase, but just guesstimating where that line's going to be. We're going to draw that. Draw a little line jutting out. Again, this is not a perfect science or anything. This is just how I drew this little character, and I'm very excited to see how you guys try to do it. Then we bring it up, and well, where are we going to stop? We're going to stop where this little collar is, right? So that's a little guideline to how far we should draw. And then we draw this down little line, a little cross, a lot of just building shapes. And now we're going to do that straight line again, stopping where the waist is. Draw a little line across, make that little rectangle. Then close that off. Close the little colored sleeve. Then two little humps for the hand. Then we're just going to draw this across. I made a little belly button, so I'm going to draw that little belly button. Again, this is just flavor text for... There we go. Now we draw that down, and we're just making the little belt right here. Or where the belt would be. I didn't actually draw a belt for this character, but you could definitely do that. Then we draw that little line down, going up. Another little fold right there. Bring this down. A lot of what I'm doing is just building on top of what I've done before, right? So, like I've made that the middle using that. I don't know what to really call this. Little fabric at the middle. That's going to be where I'm going to stop for this pant leg because they're going to meet for the middle. Then we're going to go bring this down. Bring this out. Why are we bringing that out? Because the little shorts are rolled up. Bring that across, and then we could go ahead and meet up here. And again, you don't have to add these. I'm just adding little pant pockets. Okay, we're almost there. So now we're going to bring down little curves, little curved lines, just barely, not super crazy like this or anything, just a soft little curve. We are also going to draw where that knee is, so just like a soft V or a really messed up check mark. And then another soft little curve. We're going to meet those two curves with another curve facing upwards for the boot, and we're going to draw that down. Then a curve and another little curve for that knee, and then a curve to meet this one right there, and then another little curve. Curve upwards again for the little boot. Bring that down as a little soft curved line. Curve that down, and then you want to meet those 2 points with a nice little curved line. And that's how I drew it. And well done, you have done a sailor. Congratulations, well done. Round of applause for all. If you notice that the left side and the right side are a little bit different, well, you're not wrong. I drew both of these images and they're both very different from one another. And that's how it's going to be for whenever you draw. So if yours doesn't look exactly like the one on the left or exactly like the one on the right, that is perfectly fine. That doesn't change the fact that I would really, 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 really like to see whatever you get to draw. Um, Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and to share it with somebody you think would enjoy something like this. If you have any ideas for a future draw with me, be sure to make a comment below and maybe we'll just be able to do that eventually in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.